Creating a drawing with a parts list and balloons is made easier if you create a presentation file first. Here we see an example of a presentation file. We're animating that to show how the parts come together. We'll be using that view in our drawing. So let's go ahead and create a new drawing. And when we create the new drawing, the base view is going to be the presentation file. So currently, because the presentation file is open, I don't need to select it. I'm going to change that to the current view and increase the scale to 2:1. Now I can place the presentation file inside the drawing. Click on Done, and we'll just move that over a little bit because we're going to add balloons in the parts list. So here we can see all the parts, and it's important when you're creating balloons in the parts list that all the parts are visible. That's why the presentation file is quite useful. We'll start by auto ballooning. Select the view, right click and select all the parts, and then continue. The default is horizontal. Let's change that to around, so the balloons will be around the part, and you can adjust those a little bit. That's fine. Click on OK. I always like to move the balloons just a little bit closer to the parts. So we'll adjust all of those. There's only 5 or 6 in this case, so no big deal. And there we go. So now that we have all the balloons added, we can go ahead and create the parts list. So we'll click on Parts List command, select the view, click on OK, and we'll place the parts list down in the bottom right hand corner. Now when we review the parts list, we can see some of the columns are either too wide or too narrow. So let's edit the parts list and fix that. So we'll right click on the header, go to column width and change that to 0.5. We'll repeat that for the quantity column, 0.5. And for the part number column, we'll change that to 3. In the description column, you could add text. There is text there already for a content center part. Because we've changed that, we need to move the parts list back down into the correct location. And there it is. So very quickly we've been able to add balloons and a parts list and use the presentation file.